Hello sports fans, it is Monday, July 8th, 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Hope you guys had a safe and happy 4th of July weekend. Let's do a quick recap in the sports world since the last time I talked to you. Let's start with Major League Baseball over the weekend. The Yankees took 2 out of 3 from Baltimore, but Baltimore salvaged the game yesterday. They got 2 runs in the 9th inning off Mariano Rivera to win yesterday's game. So nice job by the Yankees winning the series, but they got to feel like they let a game get away. They got to feel like they could have swept the Orioles over the weekend. But hey, Mariano Rivera can't be perfect all the time. Detroit took 2 out of 3 from Cleveland. They have Game 4 tonight in the wraparound series. Seattle went into Cincinnati and beat the Reds 2 out of 3. Cincinnati not playing good ball recently. Keep an eye on them. They are not firing on all cylinders. Washington swept San Diego. Maybe Washington is starting to put something together. Philadelphia took 2 out of 3 from Atlanta. Howard on the DL. How about Brown for Philadelphia? 23 home runs. Nice job by him. Toronto took 2 out of 3 from Minnesota. Toronto still got a lot of work to do. Tampa Bay swept the White Sox. How bad are the White Sox? They are atrocious this year. The Mets took 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee. The Mets are playing slightly better. Now listen, they're not a good team, but they are playing slightly better. Oakland took 2 out of 3 from Kansas City. Oakland continues to play good ball. St. Louis swept Miami. We know Miami's an awful team. Cubs took 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh. Nice job by the Cubs. Pittsburgh's a very, very good team. Cubs take 2 out of 3 there. Texas takes 2 out of 3 from Houston. No surprise there at all. Dodgers continue to win series. They take 2 out of 3 from San Francisco. What is going on with the Giants? They are playing atrocious baseball this year. Listen, the Giants have won 2 out of the last 3 World Series. Maybe this is the year they just have a bad year. I mean, they are entitled. They have won 2 World Series in the last 3 years. Giants playing atrocious right now. Don't count them out, though. Angels took 2 out of 3 from Boston. They had that huge win on Saturday night with the Hamilton home run. So nice job by the Angels winning that series. And Arizona swept Colorado. Arizona happy to be back home. Remember, they struggled on their last road trip. They even lost to the Mets a couple of times. But Arizona goes back home and they just dust Colorado. Colorado really misses Tulowitzki. So that was kind of some of your scores in baseball over the weekend. Here's your American League, National League leaders as far as the divisions and wild card. We still got a long way to go. In your American League right now in the East, Boston leads the East. In the Central, it's Detroit. In the West, it's Oakland. As far as your wild card, remember there's 2 wild card teams this year. Texas is leading the wild card in the American League. Tampa Bay and Baltimore are tied for that second spot. Yankees only a half game out. Cleveland only 2.5 games out. Who thought Cleveland would be this close, at this point in the season? I thought Cleveland would be awful this year. Nice job by Francona. Toronto 5.5 games out. They are playing better, still have work to do. Angels and Kansas City 6 games out. I don't want to count them out either. As far as your National League, right now Atlanta leads the East, Pittsburgh leads the Central, and Arizona leads the West. As far as your wild card right now, it would be St. Louis and Cincinnati. Washington 4 games out. Keep an eye on that. Washington's starting to creep up on Cincinnati. Philadelphia and the Dodgers 7.5 games out. Remember though, the Dodgers are closer in their division than to the wild card. Dodgers in the division only 4.5 games out, and they're 7.5 games out in the wild card. But we still have so much time to go in baseball, like 3 full months to go. Long way to go. As far as some other news and notes from over the weekend, Dwight Howard goes to the Rockets. No surprise there. We knew he wasn't going back to the Lakers. He didn't like D'Antoni as coach, didn't like playing with Kobe Bryant. I mean, to me, the Lakers, it's definitely a setback on the court for the Lakers. They're not going to have a big season. I mean, maybe in a couple of years they start to regroup. They're going to have a lot of flexibility with the cap after the season. Make no mistake about it, though. The Lakers are in for a long year this year. They lose Howard. Kobe's coming back from a serious injury. A lot of age on the team. But hey, the Lakers are one of those franchises that always lands on their feet. And if Dwight Howard wants to leave, the Lakers, let him go. You don't want to be a Laker? Go to Houston then. I mean, the Lakers, please. You don't want to be a Los Angeles Lakers? The Lakers have to beg you to stay in Los Angeles? Go to Houston. I'll tell you what. Dwight Howard has a lot to prove now. He better win in Houston. I am so down on Dwight Howard. I liked him when he first came up. He has been a circus clown the last few years. Now, he's got time to put it together. I like Houston's team. He's got time to do some things, but he better get it done in Houston because he has turned into a circus act recently. Also, Josh Smith signs with Detroit. I was a little surprised about that. I mean, he got a ton of money from Detroit. I don't know if Detroit's ready to win anything or even make the playoffs, so I was a little surprised Josh Smith went to Detroit. I thought maybe he'd want to go to a contender, but he got a huge contract from Detroit. We'll see if Detroit can build something. Now, Detroit is one of the best franchises in the NBA. I mean, recently they've been bad, but their history, they have a very deep history, Detroit, of winning basketball. So we'll see if they start to put something together. As far as your Wimbledon over the weekend, Andy Murray makes history. First guy from Great Britain to win Wimbledon in almost 80 years. Tremendous job by Andy Murray. So happy for him. The crowd was going crazy. He wins in straight sets. Tremendous job by Andy Murray. Andy Murray's becoming a really good player. He won the gold medal last year at the Olympics. He won the U.S. Open, and now he's won Wimbledon. So tremendous job by Andy Murray. Over to the women's side, Bartoli wins it for the women. I was happy to see her win. She's been on tour a long time, always come up a little short, but she wins on the women's side. And how about the Bryan brothers in doubles tennis? They become the first doubles team to hold all 4 major titles at the same time. Plus they have a gold medal. They've won like, what, 15, 16 majors as well. The Bryan brothers, one of the best double teams in the history of tennis, if not the best doubles team in the history of tennis. First team ever to hold all 4 majors at the same time. That's quite an accomplishment for the Bryan brothers. So I did catch some of Wimbledon over the weekend. I don't do much UFC, Ultimate Fighting. I'm more of a boxing guy myself. I keep an eye on the UFC, but I'm more of a boxing guy myself. I have to mention, though, Weidman from New York beats Silva in a stunning knockout, so I have to mention that because Weidman is from New York here. I mean, he wins the middleweight title. He knocks out Silva. Now, I thought Silva was vulnerable. He's long in the tooth. He's getting a little up there. He had the title a long time. I didn't like the way Silva fought this fight at all. He was clowning around for 2 rounds. I mean, faking that he was hurt, you know, posing, laughing, smiling. And then he gets caught with a punch and he gets basically knocked out. So terrible job by Silva. Very unprofessional act by him. Nice job by Weidman from Long Island, New York. Great job by him. Congratulations to him. He wins the middleweight title. All right, as far as what else to watch, as far as tonight, your Major League Baseball series, you got Washington at Philadelphia, you got Texas at Baltimore, Detroit at Cleveland, Kansas City at the Yankees, Oakland at Pittsburgh, Atlanta at Miami, Minnesota at Tampa Bay, Cubs at the White Sox, that's a nice rivalry, Cincinnati at Milwaukee, Dodgers at Arizona, that's a big series, Boston at Seattle, Colorado at San Diego, and the Mets at San Francisco. Now, I'm not going to be back with you until Monday, July 22nd. We're going to have a little 2-week break here. Remember, we got the All-Star game coming up in baseball, so there's not going to be much to talk about. But anyway, keep an eye on a few events. You have the All-Star game next week in baseball. I'm not a big All-Star lover. I don't like any All-Star games. I certainly don't like that home field in the World Series is decided in the All-Star game. I can't stand that rule. I think that rule is a joke. I think the team with the best record should have home field, not who wins the All-Star game. But you do have the All-Star game next week from Citi Field. If you're interested in the home run derby, I'm not interested in that at all. I mean, I remember the year Josh Hamilton hit like 1,000 home runs, but because of the rules, he didn't win the home run derby. I can't get into that at all. But some people like the All-Star game. Plus, that day, the All-Star, you know, those few days, there's nothing on TV at all. So if you want to check out the All-Star game, that's next week. Also remember, the British Open Golf is July 18th to the 21st. We'll keep an eye on Tiger Woods. He was atrocious in his last major. Remember, Tiger Woods hasn't won a major in a long time, so keep an eye on the British Open. Also, if you're interested in some soccer, this may be the time to watch some soccer. The United States national team, you know, on the men's side, they are in the Gold Cup. They come off a big win in San Diego against Guatemala in a friendly. They won that game 6-0. Remember, Landon Donovan is back for this tournament. The United States schedule for this tournament, they play Belize in Portland on Tuesday. That's tomorrow night. Portland has a great atmosphere, by the way. Check out the fans in Portland. Then on Saturday, the United States hosts Cuba in Utah. And then on July 16th, the United States hosts Costa Rica in Connecticut, and then they go into the knockout round from there. So if you're interested in some soccer, this may be the time to peek at some soccer a little bit. So you got the Gold Cup. Keep an eye on that. Landon Donovan is back for the United States, and already the Gold Cup is underway. The United States hasn't started yet, but last night a couple of shockers. Canada loses 1-0, and Mexico loses again 2-1 to Panama. Mexico can't beat anyone. What's happened to them? So keep an eye on the Gold Cup. You want to check out some soccer, check out the United States team. They play tomorrow against Belize in Portland. Okay, you guys are all pretty much caught up. I will be back with you in 2 weeks. July 22nd, we'll recap the All-Star game, everything else that went on, the golf, anything else that comes up. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. I will talk to you in 2 weeks. Take care.